Hi everybody! Welcome to a surprise edition of tomorrow's my wife's birthday. The kids are going to be doing virtual schooling and in-home therapies the entire day. So, and thanks to COVID, thanks COVID, we can't go anywhere. So she just went to go visit her parents for a couple hours. I have this much time while she's gone to try to get tomorrow's dinner ready so that she doesn't know about it. I decided to take this time to do my first actual posted video or anything for low point real lasagna. And by low point, I don't mean food blogger, you know, get store-bought, dried, crappy little lasagna, dry noodles that are 3 points per small little thing of lasagna, and they suck. This is low point because we're making fresh pasta. I have multiple videos down in Dehalic Vids and also on my channel on YouTube. Over the past 2 years, I have posted a lot of info on making fresh pasta. That's low point, contrary to what shows in the database. The database fresh pasta is for people who don't know how to cook. This is a low point way to make pasta. I'll put the link in the video for my pasta guide. Let's get to it. Believe it or not, we are only going to need 9 points of pasta to pasta an entire 3 or 4 layer 13 by 9 pan. 9 points because you get so much more pasta when you make it this way. So strap in, folks. This is going to be a 2-part video because I'm making an entire lasagna from scratch over the course of a couple hours because we have to go to the store and get groceries because I can't go shopping for her birthday dinner while she's here because that defeats the purpose of a surprise. So this is a 1 cup pasta dough ball from my low point pasta dough recipe, which there's the link for down in the text portion of this. I am going to, just the same as you would portion 2 ingredient dough, I'm going to slice this into quarters. And if you were to use this to make regular spaghetti, linguine, whatever, each one of these is your serving. Doesn't sound like a lot, but once you roll it out, you can use a pasta machine, which is what I'm going to do just because I can, and it's for my wife's thing. I have videos showing how to make your own linguine with this recipe of dough using just a rolling pin. And we are going to use 0 points of flour to dust all 3/4 cups of dough that we're going to be using. I'm only going to be using 1.5 teaspoons. We're going to be doing it smarter, where in cooking shows, you see, you know, Bobby Flay and everybody else, they're sitting there with 5-gallon buckets of flour and they're throwing it on the cutting board. You don't need to. We are going to dust all of it just like you would with powdered sugar. Just going to lightly dust, and we will be able to do it all with 1.5 teaspoons. The kids are dancing right now, they're having lunch. And they're adorable. So let's get started. These 3, well, I'm going to keep 1 out right now. Wrap the other 3 so they don't dry out, set them off to the side. And let's get cracking. Alright, apparently the kids are listening to Pharrell, so I have a soundtrack. So this is a 1/4 cup portion of that 1 cup ball. Now, I'm going to flatten it out a little bit into a rectangular shape that will just fit into this. I have this dialed to the widest setting right now. Going to take this precious flour and just lightly dust, rub it on both sides. And you're just kissing it with flour right now. Going to roll it through. And another dust, because this is when a lot of the moisture is coming out and it would stick to the machine, so we want to dust it right now. We're going to do this 3 times. on each setting, cranking it through. Now, I know a lot of people, now we're going to take it to the next thinnest setting. A lot of people like to use the expensive KitchenAid attachments. I don't have one of those. I like doing it this old school way. 2 and 3. Now, I haven't made this in about a year. I haven't made a lasagna. I'm going to dust it again, barely. Rub some flour on it, on the front side, on the back side. I took it down another notch in thinness. I'm going to do this again. 3 times. And I used to be, because I made fresh pasta a lot back when I first started Weight Watchers, where I could crank out fresh pasta, serving for one person, cut down and back again.
Give me a hug.
For in about 15 minutes. Once you do it a few times, you get much quicker and much more proficient at it. Alright. Now it's starting to get a little tacky. You don't want it to stick to the machine. So we are Rachel, sweetie. Flipping it and lightly dust with flour again. And going to, let's see, run this through again. There we go. And each time we bring this down a notch, the thinness, it makes the pasta sheet larger and larger. 3 times per setting. Now you may be asking, this is a ton of work. Well, this is a special occasion dish. Y'all say that like Thanksgiving and stuff are special occasion where you'll go out of your way to cook. This is for my wife's birthday, so this is what I get. Now this is the lowest setting I will have this on. I take this from the second to the end. That is the thinnest I will go. I'm going to roll this through, and this is when it's really going to start gaining in size. We're going to have to dust it again. This is where you have the greatest risk of it sticking to the machine and tearing if you allow it to be too moist. But we aren't going to have this problem. Well, that problem. So that we've gone one time through at that thinness, second from the end. Going to go another time. And one more time. So this, uncooked, is 3 points of pasta dough. It's going to expand like crazy once we put it in a pot of boiling water I have over there. Now, to make it easier to handle in the pot, because it's going to expand like crazy, I'm going to cut it, and I have a pot of boiling water. Going to boil each sheet for 3 minutes. Plop this bad boy in. There's 1, and here is 2. There you go. Counter. All right, so I had to jump ahead, but pretty much to let you know what happened during the break. So I dropped the first 2 half sheets of fresh pasta into the boiling water for 3 minutes. While that was going, I cranked through the next sheet, got the first one out of the pot of water, put the next one in, Made the next sheet 3 minutes in, 3 minutes off, 3 minutes in, 3 minutes off. About 10 minutes, all 3 pasta sheets are done cooked. I rinse them off. Don't glare, just follow the process. I have found when I make the fresh pasta like this, you can do what some people like, where you just take the fresh, uncooked, not boiled pasta and just lay it right down in it and make your lasagna. I don't like the texture. It is way too delicate. For those of us who grew up eating the frozen Stouffer's junk, or the pasta, the lasagna you get at regular restaurants and stuff, like Chiafolo's favorite Olive Garden, the lasagna noodles are a little thicker. They have a little bit more bite. So I prefer to boil them first and then build the lasagna with that. I just prefer the flavor and texture much more. Anyway, I wanted to show you, now that they're all done, why the heck I am such an advocate for this whole low point fresh pasta cooking. Now, those store-bought dried noodles that are like this long are 3 points each. And, all of what I'm about to show you is only 10 total points using my pasta recipe. And it is more than enough to make an entire multi-layered, huge pan of lasagna. And this is what you get. All right, this is 10 points of fresh pasta sheets using my method, and only using 1.5 teaspoons to flour it, and then boil 3 minutes. It expands. This is 32 inches long and 4 inches wide. That's 3 points. That's a 1/4 cup section. Now, you would only get just barely over 3 of those dried, sad store-bought ones, and you would get about half this size in pasta. This is what is key to making low point lasagna, using real ingredients, not having everybody cry fake food at you. It's cooking smarter and healthier. Doing the lasagna this way, I actually made one with the regular dried lasagna noodles, a 4-layer one, versus this, counted the noodles, did all the calculations. This cuts almost 200 grams of carbs out of a 4-layer pan of lasagna versus the store-bought noodles. And I can't remember, I'll have to look to see if I'm accurate, I'll put it in the notes, but offhand I believe it was 800 to 1,000 calories removed from the pan of lasagna by using the fresh this way versus the store-bought. This concludes video 1. In the next part, we'll start doing the fillings and the sauce and all that. But this is part 1 of the low point lasagna from scratch.